ate too much turkey, because there was a ton of adjustments made, but I think for the most part we've got done what we need to get done to be able to bring you live coverage of your matchup. The first of 3 today, 3 tomorrow, and then there will be a couple of games on Sunday, as it is put up from the corner and dropped in long-range bomb from Ja'Kiah Little. And the opening points in this one belonging to Albany Tech. Well, a little change just prior to the start of this event because of the lack of personnel for one team, that being USC Salkehatchie. So a game was lopped off. 3 games today, 3 tomorrow, 2 on Sunday, whereas the original schedule had 3 games on each of the 3 days. And my apologies, wanted to be able to get it on the air, so working through some issues while doing the broadcast. And as I've mentioned previously, I am a one-man band, so I'm the tech guy. That's the really big problem spot. I mean, not that I excel in the other areas, you know, the play-by-play and the camera op stuff, but the IT, that's where I'm really struggling. But I will work on that while the ladies play a little basketball. And another opportunity for 3 from Little. That is no good. Put back won't drop in either for Davis. And Southern Union bringing it to the opposite end of the floor, and is stolen away. Janiah Johnson lays it up and in. And Albany Tech taking the early 5-zip lead in this one. Southern Union out of the ACCC, Albany Tech out of the GCAA. Region 17, Region 22. That'll go out of bounds off for Trinity Hardy. Southern Union to put it in play from the baseline on the opposite end of the floor. Pete Arrington, Thanksgiving Classic. I'm not sure how many years now this has been in existence. I want to think in the neighborhood of 4, maybe 5 years. Southern Union with an opportunity, could not convert. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the floor, Riley picked off. Down front it goes to Zariah Fanning, and then the 3 off the rim for Serena Hardy. Down low, tip towards the sidelines. Gathered in there by Robinson. Johnson firing into the paint. Little drawing the foul. And we'll have our first trip to the stripe. It will come compliments of Little here at the hangar. America's George, good to be back in the hangar. I guess the last time here was, what, maybe March, February, March of last year. Little knocking down the first. Touchdown and an extra point kick. The early Albany Tech lead. Coming in with a 6-1 mark. As a matter of fact, the last basketball game I believe we did prior to the holidays featured Albany Tech against Coastal Alabama North. So the first one coming out of the break as Johnson drops in the 3. Also featuring the Titans. Southern Union looking for their first points of the contest. Tamia Lee thinking about it from long range. Instead, brought into the paint. Bank, no good. Rebound by Tucker. And that is grabbed by Davis. Rebounded by Lee. Lee tipped away by Robinson from the backside. And it is Riley that goes the other way with it. Off the window for two. And that will prompt a timeout asked for by Southern Union. As Albany Tech jumps out to the 12-zip lead. Zip Albany Tech lead very early in this one. It's certainly not a lead that's insurmountable, but man, you'd much rather this early in the game be with than without the lead. As got the first foul on a Titan. And that will put Takiria Tucker at the stripe. Wholesale personnel changes for Southern Union. The 5 ladies who began the ball game come out. And about 30 seconds ago, the 5 new ladies came in. Tucker, there's the first point of the game for Southern Union. Riley to the other end of the floor and is stolen away. And then stolen right back. Johnson trying to give over to Tucker. And yes, there is a Tucker on both sides of the floor. One is a Tiara Tucker, and that is for Albany Tech. And the other is a Takira Tucker. And that is for Southern Union. Put back little, not there. Rebounded by Takiriana Mosley, and Mosley to the other end of the floor. Inside the hangar in Americus, Georgia. Into the corner, that is Mosley. Mosley's 3-ball, not there. Rebounded by Bridges. Bridges will draw the foul and go to the strike. And we are at the media timeout. First dead ball inside 5. We'll take the break, come back to the hangar after this. In the holiday mood there on the Albany Tech side of the gymnasium. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Good to be back on a hardwood, or in some cases a gridiron, still playing football. I think we've wrapped up our volleyball for the year. At the stripe shooting is Bridges. And both Southern Union points thus far coming from the stripe. Couple of free throws. Bridges 2 for 2. Out front it goes to Johnson. Feeds over to Janiah Evans, who has checked into the ball game. Back over to Evans, gives it a look from the left side, goes into the opposite corner, Little with it. Down low, off the glass. Tucker with a miss. Robinson trying to get the putback. Tucker stepped out of bounds trying to retrieve. And it'll be Southern Union basketball still looking for their first field goal of the game. Mosley with it this side. Picks it up just inside the arc. Back over it goes to Mosley, working it to the top side. Out of the corner, off the window. There's the first one of the game. Field goal wise, Perry. And all of a sudden, it's not as ominous looking. Was 12 zip, now 12-5, 5 in a row from the Bison. Little with a look down low, fires into a tiny window to Robinson. Got away from her and tracked down by Tucker. Tucker off the glass. Check that. That was Mosley after the feed from Tucker. 7 in a row from Southern Union. Did not have a field goal until the 4:20 mark in the opening stanza. And now within 5 and could narrow it to a single possession. Mosley, she'll be charged with the offensive. Well, thanks, by the way, to all the folks that did some quick work behind the scenes. One specifically, Josh Yockey with Scoreboard, having some issues with my Scoreboard clock. And he took time out after Thanksgiving to work on that. Johnson with a miss. Tucker swatted away by Tucker. The Titan Tucker had it swatted away by a Bison Tucker. Off the rim with a 3-try and rebounded by Tucker. Johnson giving it back to Little, puts up the 3. She's got her second in the stanza. And that will snap a 7-point run for Southern Union. And thanks, too, to the folks here. If they didn't have a starting lineup and an introduction, that gave me about 90 extra seconds to iron out another little issue. But I think we got them all and actually got the tip. And I think I can work on the few remaining little bugs and timeouts. Johnson with it, left side. Evans over to Little. Tucker's got it. Reaching in, taking it away was Wilcher. Fires to the other end of the floor. Mosley able to catch up with it. Goes over to Lee. Lee misfiring on the 3. Rebound and put back, not there, but there is a foul. And that has got Mosley headed to the stripe. Mosley hitting her first, misfiring on the second. Got glass and cylinder. Robinson trying to get the rebound, will get fouled. And Robinson now shooting. Mosley over to Fannin. Taken away, Robinson grabs it, feeds it over to Evans. Inside a minute to play here in the opening quarter. Evans left side, down low look, out front it goes to Robinson. That is a 3-ball from Johnson. Wiltshire with it this side, works the top of the key. It is knocked away and then taken away by Johnson. To the glass and off the window. And Albany Tech reclaiming that double-digit lead. From the top of the key, short on the 3 try by Faith Brown. That 3 is good for a Kyla Perry. And that is how the quarter will come to an end. So all in all, when you're down by 12 to begin the game, before you got a single point on the board. Down by 7 at the end of 1, maybe a bit of a moral victory for the Bison of Southern U.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Quarter number 2 gets underway. Southern Union realizing they lost quarter 1, trying to win quarter 2. 7-point Albany Tech lead. It's been double digits twice 12-zip and 18-8. Riley back into the lineup, into the corner, and goes to Evans. Brings it out of the corner. Riley thinking about the three on the floor with a dribble. Into the paint to Tucker, taken away briefly, and now a jump ball. And the possession arrow will keep us on this end of the floor. Put in play by Jaisha Mitchell, who has checked into the game for Albany Tech. That's Tucker off the board. We're working on having you a kind of revised, edited version of the JUCO Rush at halftime. That's a 30-minute football show on junior college football. And half times are 15 minutes in basketball. So obviously going to have to do a little editing work. But I think I've done the editing. And we'll be able to bring you that at halftime. Into the corner to Evans, steps inside the arc, puts up the long two. Rebounded by Hardy. Zips it to the other end of the floor. There is a whistle. There is a foul. And as soon as those long ponytails swoosh to one side or the other, I will tell you who is shooting the free throws. Or maybe I will. There's several ponytails and they haven't swooshed enough to give me view of the numbers. 1 of 2. Out front it goes. Mitchell putting up the three, nibbled the rim, picked up by Tucker. Couldn't get it to bank, rebounded by Hardy. From the corner, just a little bit short on the three try from Hardy. Put in play for the baseline. Give it a Fannin. A couple of Fannins on this team. Well, check that. Just one. I saw another Fannin on the roster. Did not. Everything that I do and say wrong this weekend, I will be blaming on overeating turkey, which is not a really good excuse. It's the only one I've got at the moment. Dropped in from the corner by Tucker. That'll go out of bounds. Last got the fingertips of a Titan. Put in play from the corner. That is Hardy. And too strong with a pass down low, trying to get it to, I believe that was Carmen. No, that's not Carmen Bridges. That is 33, and we do not have a 33 on the roster provided. But hang on. There are, as the old saying goes, more than a single way to skin a cat. That's Peoples with a short range, too. Into the corner to Hardy. Mitchell's got it after the steal. Heads to the other end of the floor, wants the two. There is a blocking foul. And Mitchell will be shooting. .33 is Boozer. That must be Camry Boozer, who in certain situations, certain jerseys wears 14. And in these yellow jerseys wears 33. Rebounded by Davis. .25-14 game, 6:25 away from halftime. That is Boozer a little bit strong. Rebound belonging to Riley. She'll go into the corner. Tucker in and out. Peoples thought she had it, lost it. Hardy taking it to the other end of the floor. From the top of the key, that is Davis off. Tracked down by Boozer. Into the paint, an extra step taken by Fannin. Trinity Hardy back into the ball game for the Titans, are actually coming out now. And into the game, Farmer. And somebody's got to stay on the floor. There's only 4 currently, and now let's see who the other one that's going to come back in. Tucker comes back in. Peoples will go to the sideline. The Titans were looking at the players, the personnel on the floor, going, wait a minute, we don't have quite enough. It might make it a little unfair. Inside to Farmer, and it's sat on the rim and then dropped in. Briefly lost by Hardy. Picked up by Davis, and then the 3-ball shot by Fannin. And it's a 10-point game again. Just about halfway through the stanza. Picked off Davis, taking away the toss intended for Riley, couldn't lay it up and in. Mitchell with the board. Riley on the other end of the floor, pulls up near the stripe. And there is a foul on the reach. Let's see which of the two that were in the vicinity committed the personal. I believe it's the officials having the same issues I'm having with the ponytail going, okay, what's that number underneath that? That's 10, Tucker committing the foul. 4:35 to go in the half. And the half, JUCO rush coming up. I think I have been able to download, retrieve, and find. So we'll have the feature coming up for you at halftime. Riley able to bank it off the glass. Stolen away by Riley and nearly taken right back, but loose ball retrieved by Tucker. And shoved to the glass by Evans, not there. Rebounded by Bridges. Bison trying to make it a single-digit game going into the locker room at halftime. Davis with a miss on the three. It is tracked down by Harney. Now that is Wiltshire, by the way, tracking it down. Into the paint. Bridges off the glass for two. Evans over to Riley. Evans taking it back right corner, bringing it baseline. Flips into the paint to Tucker, and Tucker banks it off the glass. Off the rim for Fannin. Riley to the other end of the floor, and there is a foul on the floor. It'll be brought in from the baseline. Committing the personal is Davis. Titans to put it in play from the baseline. Back it goes to Johnson. Tucker with a lean in. Got it back, tries a second time, won't drop. Rebounded by Farmer. She says, heck, I'll just bring it long range. Couldn't get it to fall. Johnson trying to hit it from underneath. Multiple opportunities. Little gets fouled. And Little will shoot two. .134 to play. Half number one. We will get right into JUCO rush going into the halftime. It's a 14.5-minute show, edited. And as I mentioned, halftime 15 minutes long, so we'll get right into the halftime show in about 1 minute and 29 basketball minutes. And it's Davis dropping in the three. That's a big three for the Bison in their efforts to make it a single-digit game by halftime. Johnson with a miss on the other end of the floor. Might have an old-fashioned three, at least got a chance at it, as Mosley hits it down low and goes to the stripe. First of 3 games this afternoon. Same for tomorrow. Same starting time, too. 3, 5, and 7. And then the 2 games coming up on Sunday. Little for 3. That's her third and a half. And a little too anxious to bring it to the other end of the floor was Fan and stepped in before releasing the ball. And an opportunity for Albany Tech to rebuild that advantage. Into the corner to Johnson. She's got another 3. Fannin asking for a screen, gets it. Davis off on the 3 try. Jumper is off the rim. No good. It is halftime. And Albany Tech bringing a 16-point lead into the locker room at the half. JUCO Rush, it's your halftime feature. Talking all about junior college football, and it's next.
And welcome into the JUCO Rush. I'm Mike Fraser from downtown Chicago. He's Robert Williamson, Florella, Alabama. Robert, good evening.
Good evening, Mike. How is it in Chicago?
It's good, man. The NJCAA football poll, the playoff poll came out today, and man, it is now set. We knew who the 4 teams were, Robert. It was just a matter of who was going to sit in the 2 slot, who was going to sit in the 3 slot.
Do you want to see those polls?
Let's see.
Are you really interested in what happened? You know, who's 1 through 4, who's 1 through 15?
Been waiting to get to this moment since August.
All right, let's do it then. There you go.
Georgia Military moves up to the 2 slot. Hutch moves to 3. Robert, that's a huge difference just from a weather pattern standpoint. Think about it. If you're Hutch, you're playing that game in December. It's on a good day, if you catch the weather right, it's 30 degrees with the wind out of the north at 15. Now you go down to Milledgeville, Georgia. It's going to be 65 degrees and partly cloudy.
It is definitely going to be different. Hey, can I do a little bit of this? Did you notice that those 4 teams were all 1-loss teams? No 2-loss teams. Did you notice that every one of those 4 teams had at least a loss? I mean, did you happen to notice that?
You called it.
It does reinforce, it validates that blind chipmunk and an acorn theory. It does kind of validate that.
Yeah, but one thing, hey, listen, luck is the residue of hard work. So there you go. I'm going to pat you on the back even more.
Well,
all right.
I asked
one and only time. The one and only time. Hey, you were right. No, you called it. I said a 2-loss team when the season started would get in. It didn't happen. Came close, but it didn't happen. They got it in. Your thoughts? You surprised that the committee moved Georgia Military to 2 after they were 3 last week?
I thought it was the right thing to do. Now, you might recall last week I said, let me kind of hold back on the vitriol until we get to this poll, because I knew there were some different dynamics where this poll was concerned as compared to the prior, 11 or so. So I think it was right. I think the pollsters got it right. And I will say, even if Georgia Military had not been the number 2 team, this is an imperfect science, but I think they have done and tried to do as well as they possibly can come up with a method by which to rank these teams in a fair and orderly process. And that would have been whether Georgia Military was 2 or not. But I think they deserve that spot.
You know, the committee is never going to please all the people all the time. I thought they did an outstanding job. They really avoided the big locomotive a few weeks ago of multiple 2-loss teams. And who do you put in a Navarro or an East Central if there was a 2-loss team? But you'll see on my poll, if I was a voter, I would have slotted Hutch at number 2. And matter of fact, there they are. And again, no disrespect to Georgia Military, none to Rob Manchester. I just think Hutch, for me, based on the eye test and strength of schedule, I think they get my vote as the number 2 team, Georgia Military 3, Northwest 4. Note this, Robert, on Northwest, how big was that Hail Mary against Holmes? How does that stand now? Northwest wins that game on a Hail Mary 50-yard touchdown pass. Remember, they lost their first game out of the year to an unranked Pearl River team who was never ranked in the top 20 or the top 15 in the NJCAA or the JUCO Rush poll. Robert, that turned out to be a huge play that propelled Northwest into the postseason.
Behind every successful team and season, there is a little bit of good luck. There was a lot of bit of good luck against Holmes on that particular night. And yeah, that Hail Mary turns into a Northwest win. Heck, they're not a number 4 team. They're not in if that Hail Mary is not complete. It was, and they are.
And you're right. And they get in there. So the 4 teams are set. I would put a Hutch number 2. You've got them at number 3. The committee voted as a group that Hutch is the number 3 team, and they'll have to go on the road to take on Rob Manchester and the Bulldogs. And that game is an afternoon. It's a matinee affair on December the 8th. Iowa Western on December 7th will entertain Northwest. And, man, again, Council Bluffs in December, going to be cold. But look, East Mississippi went in there last year and beat Hutchinson in a cold weather game. So I think I don't think that's going to affect Benji. And look, they've got a beast back there in the running game. I mean, a Demarion Petit, this guy is just tough as nails. So I don't think the weather plays a factor. I mean, of course, if there's a snowstorm or some sort, but the temperature is not going to stop Northwest. This is a tough football team. And Scott Strohmeyer will tell you, Iowa Western has their work cut out for him in this matchup. And interesting, you look at Iowa Western at number 1, they're at home. They play the toughest schedule in the league, in my opinion, and their reward is the champ out of Mississippi, Northwest.
Yeah, and my top 6, almost identical to yours, with the exception, as you mentioned, Georgia Military. I've got 2, Hutch 3. This is starting to concern me a little bit, though, over the course of time now, 10 or 11 weeks of this show. Are you and I starting to think alike? That scares me a little bit, and it should scare the heck out of you.
Yeah, I know. Stunning that we agree on something, but you look at we don't agree on the 2 and 3 slot, but most other things we do. And you watch this long enough, a lot of things just happen to fall into place. I'll tell you what fell into place is my players of the week. How about the SWJCFC, the conference championship game? Congratulations to Navarro. They win that football game 31-28. What a game. 14-13 at the half. Then Navarro opens up a lead. Tanner Jacobson and the Apaches run a fake punt that goes for a touchdown. They're right back in it. It finishes 31-28. And Navarro, their 6th SWJCFC conference championship as they get it done. And my first, I'm staying in with 2 guys from Navarro. First, I'm going with my man Clay, the running back, 23 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown. Also caught a couple of passes. He was instrumental in the Bulldogs' victory over the Apaches. And then I'm going with Tim Burns, 10 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown. He was the go-to guy for quarterback Mason Shorb. He sat down with the JUCO Rush. And now joining us, Tim Burns, wide receiver for the Navarro Bulldogs, SWJCFC champs. Tim, I know that's got to sound good.
That sounds amazing.
This is the 6th title for Navarro in the 29-year history since going to this conference title and playing football and getting it done. That game was close, 31-28, but 14-13 at the break. Then you extend the lead. Then Tyler runs that fake punt. Man, a lot of drama. What was racing through the mind of you and the players on the sidelines when all of a sudden it became a real tight game fourth quarter?
We had a level head. Like, we understood that we came out slow and made the game harder than what it was. So going into halftime, we just came together as one and just spoke. Like we just kept everybody head up, let everybody know, like, we still good. We still in this fight. The ball game's not over. We got 30 more minutes of football to play. Like, anything can happen at this point. We just gotta go back out there coming out to halftime and ball out.
Tim, you had a different quarterback at the start of the year, and then Mason Schwarm comes in during, I think it was the blend game. Obviously, you and he clicked, but from your perspective, did it really matter who was at the helm?
Honestly, it did. I told both quarterbacks coming into the season, if y'all need help, I'm here to help. Whatever I can do, just make sure, give me the ball. I'm gonna help change the game, no matter how I need to do it.
You are from Miami, Florida. You're playing football in Corsicana. There's a little difference between Miami, Florida, and Corsicana, Texas. So how did you adjust to the different culture, and how has it affected you as a football player?
As far as adjusting to the culture, I just surrounded myself around people who either was from Texas or was from here, and they helped me, get along with it and see the different things to do out here, rather than me being from Miami. Well, there's a lot of things to do. And as far as adjusting, I did great with it, honestly.
Tim, as we talk with Tim Burns here on the JUCO Rush, Tim, your strength as a wide receiver, what's your best asset? Hands, speed, what is it?
I say speed. Speed kills. Get in and out of your breaks, in and out of your routes. Speed kills.
Who recruited you to Navarro?
Coach J.
And how did that process lead to you signing with the Bulldogs?
It was a long process, honestly, and they just stuck with it. They stuck with me, and I thank them so much for that. And they brought me in, and it's crazy because last year they brought me in as a DB, and I transitioned this year as a receiver. And Coach Patrick Hall, he developed me and helped me become what I am today. The
SWJCFC is well respected. How tough was it playing in that league? How did JUCO football mature you as a football player?
The conference itself was definitely tough. That's what I can say. Like, each game was not an easy game. Like, it wasn't I'm going to come in and make sure, we're going to come in and just manhandle this team. Like, each game was definitely a fight, and it was just the best team that won.
You look at the future for you. You guys are going to probably go to a bowl game.
Yes, sir.
Just your thoughts on that.
That's a blessing for all of us. That's more game, more things, more film, more team, more time to play with each other. Man, Coach Patrick makes practice hard for us. So no matter if it's a bowl game, a conference championship, a regular game, like, each and every week was practice. Make sure we come to practice. We start practice, the receiver corps start practice 30 minutes earlier. And we started 30 minutes earlier just to make sure we warmed up, we ready to go, everybody awaken, and we just, all as one as a unit.
You went up against Will Cornelson and Darian White last week.
Yes, sir.
In that secondary. What was that experience like playing against those two talented guys?
They're very talented. That's what I can't give them. Those are some very talented guys. But us as a receiver corps, we just knew, like, coming into the game, no matter what, nobody can play with us. Honestly, that was our mindset throughout the whole year. We never seen a defense that could cover all of our guards, and we just knew, like, coming into this game, somebody no matter who it was going to be able to have the opportunity and just shine.
What's next for you as we wrap up our conversation? After the bowl game, where are you headed next?
As of now, I won't display that now because I'm still weighing options. But I definitely have something to say soon.
Tim, it was great watching you play this year. Congratulations on the title. Stay healthy in the bowl game.
Yes, sir.
And we wish you nothing but the best, young man.
Thank you.
All right, for Robert Williamson, I'm Mike Fraser. This has been the JUCO Rush. Thanks to our special guest, Tim Burns of Navarro, the wide receiver, and also the chair of the selection committee, Jake Ripple. We'll see you next week, everybody. So long.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back as we get second half action underway. Albany Tech jumped out to a 12-zip first quarter lead and has not relinquished the lead ever since. We do have some first half stats for you, and leading all scorers is Little with the same number of points as the number on her jersey, 11 in the first half. As that is given to Peoples, and Peoples will knock it off the glass. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, the top scorer with 8 points was Perry for Southern Union. Fed into the corner, Davis back into the corner, this time to Hardy. Davis with it out front. Off the rim with a 3 try. Rebounded, though, by Boozer, taken away by Peoples. And a whistle and foul on this end of the floor. Good to have you watching post-holiday. Well, I guess really it is still the holidays, but not the holiday, not Thanksgiving Day. What a great way to recover, right? To get over all of that excess eating. And spending some time watching a little basketball. And maybe on the other device, you've got maybe a college football game, maybe a pro football game. Yep, there is some NFL today. Raiders and Chiefs are tangling today. That is Boozer to the glass. Fan to Peoples, and it looks like Peoples is the go-to here in the second half. It's her second bucket of the third. Pushes it out to a 21-point lead. Worked out front by Wilcher. Over to Fannin, back to Hardy. And Hardy trying to get rid of the defense of Johnson. And Johnson able to get the steal, goes to Little. And Little's got 13 in the game. Out front with it is Wilcher directing a little traffic, saying, Boozer, you go into the corner. I'll give to Davis here. Davis feeds to Hardy. Back out front, Boozer. Fannin for three. Off the rim, rebounded by Riley. Through traffic for two. Give it to Davis. Wilcher putting it on the floor. Riley defending. Baseline. And there is a foul. People's the guilty party. And that will put Wilcher at the line. And here comes those wholesale substitutions for Southern Union. Brown in the game. Lee back into the game. Perry in. Tucker in. And the only remaining Bison of the second half starting five is the shooter, Wilcher. First of 3 games today. Later today, USC, Salkehatchie, and Andrew. That's coming up next. Cape Fear and the Lady Jets. The nightcap for the day. And now Wilcher comes out, and into the game is Mosley. So just as was the case in the first half. 5 starters out, 5 newcomers in. In the corner, 3 ball is off the rim. That was Davis. And I know it can get confusing. You got a Davis for Albany Tech and Southern Union. You got a Tucker for both teams. Mosley shooting. And the lead 21 again. Worked around from the left to the right side by Riley. Wide open out front, Little. She's already hit 3 of those, short on that one. And that'll go off Johnson and out of bounds. Southern Union in possession. Mosley bringing it to the timeline on the right side. Into the paint. Off the glass for 2. Good looking move by Mosley. Avery down low. That reach in distracted the first try, but the putback drew the foul. And that is going to be charged to Tucker. And put Riley at the line. Albany Tech without the services of Carlos Johnson. Johnson picked up a couple of technicals last Saturday at Coastal Alabama North. And NJCAA rules require you sit a game if that's what happens. So it happened, and she is. She'll be available tomorrow. Off the rim with a 3 try by Perry. But they really haven't needed her today. Johnson finding a seam, couldn't get it to drop. Rebounded by Tucker. That is Boozer with a miss. Grabbed by Riley. Off the glass, got a jump ball. And we're going to go to a media break, I think. Yep, we're inside 5. Time to take a break here at the Pete Arrington Thanksgiving Classic. Albany Tech basketball coming out of the timeout. Little off on the 3 try. Tucker had it, lost it. Physical game. Seeing a lot of swatting going on. Down to Peoples, dumps it to Tucker. That'll go out of bounds. Last touch to Bison. And reminder, if you haven't already, we are looking for YouTube subscribers. And all you got to do is click on the subscribe button. Should be nearby. And you get access to a lot of stuff when you do. Not just games. Interviews, shows, and more. That'll go out of bounds off Tucker. Robinson back into the game. Into the paint, off the glass, Johnson for 2. Give it over to Perry, and Perry walked with it. .332 to go in the third. Bridges checking into the game for Southern Union. And Lee coming out. Down low to Johnson. Back it goes to Robinson. Into the paint, Little lays it in for a pair. And there was a timeout on the floor asked for by Southern Union as the Titans build a 25-point lead.
Just about all white. Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Craps got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
.312 to play, third quarter action. First of 8 games as part of the Pete Arrington Thanksgiving Classic. Honoring the long-time South Georgia Tech supporter, Pete Arrington, who passed away from cancer about 3 or 4 years back. Bridges with a miss, Johnson with the rebound. A lot of his family from up in the Nashville area will be here tomorrow. Over to Johnson, gives a down low look and then tosses too tall for Tucker. And it'll be Bison basketball. Out front it goes to Mosley. Picks it up near the elbow. That is Tucker. Perry over to Mosley, and Mosley from the elbow, the miss. And you got Robinson and Faith Brown both saying we want it. It'll be a jump ball and belong to Southern Union. Put in play from the baseline by Mosley. Brown back over to Mosley. Bridges. Rebounded by Robinson. Three ball dropped through the cylinder by Johnson. Out of the corner comes Perry. Into the paint. A little bit short for the shot. Robinson committing the foul. Perry, the Bison, leading scorer in the first half with 8. Shooting free throws with 1:25 to play in the third. One of two. 59-32 game. Evans back over to the right side to Little, quickly into the corner to Johnson. Little dumping it to Tucker, and it is stolen away by Tucker. The Bison Tucker. And that will go off for the foot of Brown. Inside a minute to play. Quarter number 3. Commanding lead for the Titans. Evans short on the 3 try. Mosley able to track it down. Gets ahead of the pack, lays it up, lays it in, draws the foul of Johnson. So Mosley with an opportunity for a three-point play. Johnson coming off the floor. Into the lineup is Mitchell for the Titans. And Mosley with the old-fashioned three. In the corner, Little. Bridges got Little, and Little will shoot three. So Little with an opportunity to expand the lead by three with 17 seconds left in quarter number three. One more for Little. Hey, while you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Three ball from the corner by Perry. Little won't have an opportunity to put it up and in before the buzzer sounds. That ends a total of three. 3/4 of the way there. And it is the Titans leading by lights. Fourth quarter action gets underway. Opening game of the Pete Arrington Thanksgiving Classic. First game this year from the hangar. Riley retrieving an errant ball, able to get it to Evans. And putting the finishing touches on another very busy year. Evans for three, off the rim, rebounded by Tucker. Perry to Mosley. Working the dribble with Riley defending. Down front it goes to Tucker into the paint, off the glass, and draws the foul. Well, we haven't checked scores from elsewhere. There is quite a bit going on. Why don't we make a first stop in NFL? And it looks like the Chiefs with 1:20 to play in the first half, leading 10-3. Top 25 college football today. Two finals. Colorado manhandled Oklahoma State 52-zip. They're the number 25 ranked team in the country. And number 11, Boise State over Oregon State by a 34-18 final. Tucker shooting the second of 2 in a 62-39 game. Full court pressure, able to bring it down the floor despite the pressure. The Titans and got 2 with Robinson off the glass. In the corner to Brown. Brown taking it baseline, trying to get it over to Bridges. It'll be Bison basketball from the baseline. Splashed in by Tucker. Mitchell to the other side of the floor to Farmer. I'll make that to Evans, rather. Riley trying to whip it over to Robinson. And that'll go out of bounds. Evans, I think, touched it last. The officials will confer. And it is Southern Union basketball. Down to Fannin, and Fannin off the board for 2. Tucker to the glass. She'll do the same on the other end of the floor. Mosley kicking it over to Harney off the rim. Loose ball retrieved by Davis. Nifty little move to the basket for 2 by Harney. Lean in on the other end by Tucker. Robinson's follow-up good. And seemingly for every Bison bucket, there's a Titan response. Robinson committing the foul that knocks down Davis. And Davis will shoot 3. Robinson coming out of the game, checking in for Albany Tech is Trinity Harney. Well, that's another one of the names that we've got, one on each side of the floor. So we've got a Harney, that's a Bison and a Titan. We've got a Tucker, Bison and Titan. And we have got a Davis, Bison and Titan. So yeah, it could get a little confusing. Davis turns it into an 18-point game. Into the ball game for the Bison is Lee. Riley taking into the glass, and she will draw the foul. And apparently this is going to go on Wiltshire. Riley shooting, Mosley in. Wiltshire going to the sidelines. 18-point lead, 6:49 to go. USC Salkehatchie, who was playing with, I believe, 5 players. We'll take on Andrew College next. And the Nightcaps got Cape Fear and South Georgia Tech battling. Southern Union basketball. In Americus, Georgia. What a great place for a holiday break, by the way. Might want to think about that next year if you're on the other end of the broadcast going, you know, what do we do for Turkey Day? Well, catch some basketball and some sights here in Americus. A lot of interesting things around Americus. Which I believe Dan Reeves is from here. Of course, Jimmy Carter lives nearby. Got the Haunted Hotel, the Windsor. Got Andersonville nearby, the former Civil War prison camp. Just a whole lot of history. And of course, got a ton of great basketball. Got a foul called on Mosley. That'll put Trinity Hardy, well, not at the stripe. She was the victim of the foul, but won't be shooting. Not yet. Don't have enough fouls on the board. But she got 2 anyway, Hardy. 71-52 game. From the corner, the 3 ball from Perry. And another foul. Again, non-shooting. Tynes will bring it in from the near sidelines. Also, is it Mary Wilson that's buried here? And there's some other local tie to celebrity status. If I have my wife here, we could give you all the details. She's in on that kind of stuff. But a lot of history here. A lot of reasons to visit. Riley dropping in the 3. Hardy trying to match the 3. Evans able to save, send it to Riley. Riley on the other end of the floor with a miss. And we are at the last media timeout. 4:38 to play. Titans 74-55 over the Bison. That is Chris Blower, the men's basketball coach here at South Georgia Tech. He's having to working the clock today. So if you see things go wrong with the clock, you're like, that's not right. There's the guy to talk to. That's Wiltshire for 2. Mitchell giving it out front. Evans short on the 3 try. Mitchell's got it. And there's a reach in by Fannin. In between games, 20 minutes of warm-up, so we may be just a smidge late getting started with game number 2, the 5 o'clock matchup. Mitchell missing the first of 2. Misses both. Perry with the board. Hardy back into the corner. Perry for 3. That will dip into the cylinder and out, but committing the foul is Trinity Hardy. And Perry will shoot 3. Perry getting the first of 2. I'd make that 3. One more for Perry. Johnson coming back into the game. Little back in. Mitchell, and apparently it is going to be Evans leaving, but that'll be in a moment. The officials sending both back. And Perry tries her 3rd. Well, according to Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 is not bad. Plus, when you get it back, missed opportunity for Davis. Then you're thinking 2 out of 3 really ain't bad, but that is Riley missing on the 3. Southern Union pushing it down the floor. Into the corner to Davis. Hardy's got it out front. Wiltshire to the glass. Leans in with the one hand, rebounded by Evans. Into the paint. And winding up on the hardwood. Let's see if she's winding up the line. Is Trinity Hardy. And it will be Hardy. Here comes Johnson. Here comes Little. Robinson at the scorer's table apparently coming in for the shooter. And that shooter is Trinity Hardy. Missing the first of 2. One of 2 goes Hardy, and she'll turn around, head to the sidelines. Robinson will come into the game. Perry, there's contact between she and Robinson. And now the officials discussing which of the 2 is charged. It'll be Robinson with a blocking foul. Peoples coming in. Robinson will go out. Wilcher to put it in play from the baseline for the Bison. From the corner, Wilcher with a miss, rebounded by Riley. Into the corner, Johnson, 3-ball off the rim, glass rim, and then comes out. Put back in by Farmer. Nearly taken away by Johnson. Boozer back into the game. Tucker back in too for the Bison. Wilcher and Lee coming out. .217. Now they've added a little extra. .220 left to play in the game. In play to Davis, handed back to Hardy. Davis for 3. And will go out of bounds off of Boozer. Riley's got it in the timeline, front side give to Johnson, trying to sneak it down to Peoples. And I think that bounced off the head of Boozer. Davis trying to save it. Throws it out of bounds, and it will be Albany Tech ball. With 1:45 left to play. And now Albany Tech says, heck, let's just run some time off the clock. Got the game in hand, a 77-59 lead. Blocking foul on Davis. Albany Tech 6-1 on the year. About to improve to 7-1. Riley shooting. Couple of Riley free throws, a 20-point advantage belonging to Albany Tech. And there was a foul prior to the shot by Hardy. And that is going to be an offensive foul on Tucker. Little giving it to Peoples. Saved by Johnson into the hands of Riley. Little in the corner and is blocked by Boozer. Davis for 3 off the rim. Picked up by Riley. Johnson giving over to Little. And Little launching the 3 off the rim. Perry's got it, going the other way. That will go out of bounds off Little and be Southern U's ball. 79-59, 23 seconds left to play. First game of the day and of the Classic. Perry with a miss. Johnson giving it to Riley. She will lay it up and in. That is a 2-ball. Not a 3. 81-62 is going to be your final score. And this one is in the books. Actually, they've made that an 81-61 final, it looks like. So 81-61. Your final score in the opening game of what will eventually be 8. Albany Tech wins it. Southern Union falling short by 20. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Just the beginning of the Classic. Coming up, it is USC Salkehatchie and Andrew College 20 minutes from now. We'll see you then. For all of us in JockJive and South Georgia Tech, Robert Williamson, sing so long, everybody.